Well, everybody, and just before we get started for round number 8, round Donington, I just wanted to let you guys know that unfortunately we've had audio issues once again in this episode, but unlike last time, it's not the wrong microphone, it is audio clipping, which is much more annoying, something that I've tried multiple times to fix leading up to this Sunday's race, but have been unable to. So watch the race if you wish to find out the results. I really don't mind if you mute this one. Some parts are better than others, but it's quite a difficult listen, unfortunately, with the clipping. The final 2 races, which are complete now and will be up on the 2nd and 3rd of January, are much better, thankfully, and the audio is back to normal. But I just wanted to give you guys that warning before the race gets underway. Well, everybody, and welcome back to the Foxworth Autosport Fantasy League. We are here for round number 8, round Donington. We have 3 races left to go. The championship is still anybody's, and alongside me, the one thing that won't change today is Foxworth alongside me. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Yeah, as you might be alluding to, as of right now, Max Verstappen is a 2021 world champion. We'll see whenever this video releases if he's still the champion. Yeah,
absolutely. We had to delay this recording while we waited for the verdicts on Mercedes' appeal, and yeah, they have. It has been thrown out for now, but they have said they will challenge it. So yeah, by the time this goes out, you're quite right. We could have a different world champion. We don't know. But we're here to focus on this racing today, and hopefully less controversial.
Well, I think there's been plenty of controversial moments. We just don't have a race director, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would only have had about 1 or 2 races released currently if we had penalties, because it would have taken so long to work it all out.
Yeah.
So I think it's better to do it the way we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone, it's hard to punish people that don't have minds of their own, technically. I mean, I guess they are AI, but it's sometimes they do, you know, get minds of their own, like Brundle and Bathurst. But yeah, it's hard to punish.
Martin Brundle would have been disqualified from Bathurst if they were stewards. That wouldn't have been a hard decision, but.
If it was real life, I don't think we would be making fun of it, because I'm pretty sure he'd be dead like 7 times over. My goodness, that was a lot of incidents.
That's true. That is true. So yeah, we're here at Donington. This might be the biggest unknown of the season so far. We have a multitude of factors that are going to influence this race. We have a brand new iRacing update that has brought a lot of improvements or changes to the AI, and we have a track that has not undergone any testing so far by myself. So we could see any manner of things in this, and we've already seen some big incidents in practice alone, so.
Is there Manor Marussia on track?
Is there what, sorry?
Is there Manor on track?
Manor?
That's for the 2015 F1 race fans out there.
I didn't get that. I know Manor were an F1 team, but what were you referencing?
You said that there could be all types of manner of things on track.
Oh, I get it. It was a terrible joke. Right, okay.
It was a terrible joke.
It was also from about 5 sentences ago. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Full circle. That's not what full circle is. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back at the end. It'll be funny at the end of the video.
It's been a long weekend, a long day. One of much excitement with the F1, but and one of a lot of technical issues to try and get this race underway. We decided to reimage my computer just a couple of days before, which was a great idea. But yeah, so we're here. We got 3 races to go. 8 currently lead the championship by just over 50 points. In most championships, you would say that is unassailable. Not here. With 100 points up for the win, and everybody down to Heinz Harold Hill in 10th within 100 points of 8, I would have to say it's very much still open. And then the teams championship, we've got Falcon Racing marginally ahead of both of Rage's teams, Papsleans Automotive and Nemes to the Moon, with BBW, the other team in the 500 point club. And drivers, we've got Ayrton Senna in 2nd, Han Solo 3rd, Lando Calrissian, the other Falcon Racing car, in 4th, and Cecil in 5th. I would probably say Jesse Pinkman, Matt Neal, Pulu, Harambe, and probably Heinz Harold Hill, all within a very decent shout of winning this championship still.
Absolutely, and as I keep on saying, the accordion effect kind of didn't happen, because 8 has been dominating for the last couple races here, so yeah, it's quite interesting to see how this whole thing is unfolding. And you know, if if we really want to shake things up, we might just throw a late safety car and break the rules that we have in place, and yeah, just let them race on the final lap with fresh tires and just see what happens, you know?
Well, you see, this is how we do it best in the FIA. We just don't have any rules. It's much easier. As we've seen from the drivers during this season, they just do what they want. As George Trulli now goes to the top of the times then. Commentate on this little chain while I find out what it is.
Alright, so we got Samuel Jackson and Jeff Goldblum go side by side teammates here. They're trying not to be the last on the standings in this series. Yeah, it looks like Jeff Goldblum in 39th. As Gilles Villeneuve goes flying to the top, front row in second. No one's overcome Sasso here. Oh, there's a huge crash! Jeff Goldblum goes into the barrier, and is that Jack Villeneuve or is that Liam Bridesmaid?
I don't know, but that was...
I think that's Liam Bridesmaid, I believe.
That's the biggest crash we've seen since Pierre Lacroix in qualifying. It's Liam that's going to go down the inside into the hairpin here, and Jeff Goldblum's just going to turn in. There's still a car there, and as we've seen from the error already, it's all three wheels. I wonder if the damage model's been updated for the F3s, because I've seen quite a few crashes this season where I've had a similar crash driving the F3s and it's not been anywhere near as severe, but that definitely seemed to tear all the wheels off very easily there. But yeah, as we say, no penalties, so no further action required. And we carry on.
We've investigated thoroughly and we decided that Jeff Goldblum is dead.
We get out the Jeff Goldblum clone number 8. So the prize money is £25 for the first position, 15 and then 10, and that's obviously in the drivers and constructors. So you would need a couple of seconds, or you know, a win, or even a win. £25 about the equivalent of
I'm
$25. So yeah, well, even a second place in the championship, then you'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
Cold
US dollars.
Welcome
to the economic portion of this.
Will be coming soon. We have reached the end of qualifying them, so the timer is at an end. We'll see if anybody else is still on a lap, but at the moment it's looking like Sasso is going to take, I believe, his first pole position in the Foxworth Autosport Fantasy League. 8 improved pretty late on to go up to 12. So it's a decent result for him currently, and a decent starting position. Who else we got up there then? So we got David Attenborough. They need a good result really. They've been in free-fall really life runs away, but that's definitely what they would have wanted. Gilles Villeneuve, James Vowles, Kasuma Sato, Pulu, Harambe, Jackson Storm, Peter Bonington and Susie Wolf. Looks to be the top 10 then.
Alright, so going down the order, we got Sasso as first pole position, followed by David Attenborough. Hopefully they're going to find a way to win this race. And then we got Gilles Villeneuve, James Vowles, Kazuma Sato, Pulu Minati, Harambe, Jackson Storm, Peter Bonington, Susie Wolf, Hudson Hornet, Pete, who is the championship leader and has a long way to go to get the front, but out of all the other championship contenders, he is pretty far up there. We got George Trulli, Lucius Augustus, Jack Villeneuve, Gerhard Berger, Jesse Pinkman, starting way further up than he normally does. Then we got Karen Horner, Liam Bridesmaid, Yarno Russell, Cecil Lyon, Jake Dennis, John Major, Mine Polecat, Walter White, Pierre Lacroix, James Ensby, Han Solo, who is third in the championship, starting way down. He's going to have to find his way through the field here to keep the fucking racing team on top and keep his own championship hopes alive as well. Then we got Flavio Briatore, Natalie Pinkman, Samuel L. Jackson, which, to be fair, that is one of his best performances of the series so far. We got Michael Verstappen, Matt Neal, an early favorite for this series, and he's just kind of faded in the back half of the series. We got Ted Kravitz, Paul Saster, don't know where the D went. We got Fernando Alonso, Heinz Harold Hill, Lando Calrissian, yet another top 5 driver who is pretty far down here. We got Bertrand Zanardi, Martin Brundle, Johnny Schumacher, Richard Attenborough, Ayrton Senna, second in the championship, way down the field. And this one feels like home, but we got Jeff Goldblum on the back of the field here.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Jeff Goldblum right down there at the back. One thing, if we thought Spa was bad for how far back on the grid they're starting, Jeff Goldblum can't even see the final corner. He's so far back there. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. You said Ayrton Senna a long way down the back of the grid. There's some interesting people that have had a few bad races. I mean, Pulu's still in the top 10 in the championship, and starting 6th, that will be decent for him. I'm wondering if there's a few that have slipped past the past our sort of radar that might be starting up there. I mean, David Attenborough is
Harambe in
9th. Harambe, yeah, up there. Yeah, in 7th on the grid then.
And he's in 9th championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, Falcon Racing, so Han Solo down there in P28. And where is Lando?
30th.
38th, so yeah, it's going to be difficult for Falcon Racing. I mean, we don't know what race we're going to see here. I say so many unknowns. It's a very tight track. We've already highlighted the pit exit is potentially a problem. And it seems most corners are also a problem for these drivers, and it is an updated AI. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, Fox. Could be a big day in the championship with only 3 rounds to go.
Could be indeed. 8th is looking very strong these last few races. Let's see if he can follow it up.
Okay, so the engines have started up, the lights are on, and we're about to get underway for round number 8, round Donington. 20 laps around this historic British track. We're underway. Saf Sasso will lead us away then from David Attenborough. Gilles Villeneuve getting a good start, but it looks like David Attenborough was looking to challenge into turn 1 then, round the outside of Saf Sasso. Will he make the move stick? He's carried in more speed, but looks like Saf Sasso it will just about hold in onto that as we go down to turn 2 then. And then we've got James Vowles trying to have a look on Gilles Villeneuve, and then we'll have a look a bit further back in the pack. Have we got any incidents? I think we might have a spinner at the back. It's James Ensby that's going backwards at a loss rate. You got some brakes there, son. I would use them if I were you. I'm not sure what is it. That's an interesting move from James Ensby there. And he just retires. I'm just going to see what did happen. So it's going to be in turn 1 it. With the inside, it looks like Walter White he's going to make contact with. Oh, Walter White just took him out.
And they just chucked it in reverse.
I'm not sure what he was thinking there, but we've got an almighty battle for second place then. Gilles Villeneuve and David Attenborough going wheel to wheel down to the hairpin. Gilles Villeneuve down the inside, and he's going to make that move stick then and up into second place. Further, we've got an absolute mob back here. Don't think we've got Natalie Pinkham in the barrier.
Flavio Briatore's out as well.
He is. We'll go and have a look what's happened with him. Oh my goodness. That's a Falcon race. That's one of the... Oh, there's Flavio ahead then. It's always going to get absolutely launched. And then...
that's the Ryan Polkat, I think, is a wing got taken out by Flavio here.
That's a big incident for Natalie Pinkham there.
Let's hope that everyone's alright that's involved. Huge incident on lap 1.
So we've got Polkat and...
which, by the way, your timer's on number or minutes instead of laps.
Instead of laps. We'll maybe try and sort that out when we get a bit more settled. We've got Sasso who's leading us away then. So we've got Natalie Pinkham, Flavio Briatore and James Ensby in the pits with damage. We've got Polkat and Han Solo that have made a very early stop. I presume that's from front wing damage. We've got John Major and Pierre Lacroix go wheel to wheel. John Major's around.
I think they're teammates, or ancillary teammates at the very least.
Let's have a look at that again then. Pierre Lacroix looking for the move down the inside. John Major tries to hold it around the outside, just contacts. And luckily, I don't think John Major's going to collect anybody there. And he is back on the way, and that's Rich Attenborough, who's got a front wing. Oh, so he did get collected. He ran wide and had nowhere to go.
Could have, used the brake pedal there. My goodness.
You'd think so. Oh my goodness, Fox. This has been one of the best opening laps, or opening couple of laps I think we've seen. And then we got winning 4 here in Samuel Jackson, Pierre Lacroix and Fernando Alonso fighting for, what is it, 24th, 25th and 26th down here.
Every point matters. 3 races, 3 rounds left.
They do. We've got Harambe going into turn 1 alongside Pulu. He's trying to have a look down into turn 1. And then we've got Gilles Villeneuve, David Attenborough, Kasuma Sato at that second group that are making a little breakaway from James Vowles. With Karen Horner going wheel to wheel with Jarno Russell. And yeah, just talks through this, Fox, while I try and fix this lap issue then.
Yeah, so we got multiple cars side by side here. Looks like Walter White and Karen Horner are going right at it for 19th and 18th. And looks like Karen Horner is going to get by here because Flavio Briatore is a lap down, getting in the way of all the battles here. So it is going very well. We got Cecil going past Walter White as well. It looks like Flavio is playing really hard into this midfield right now. A lot of angry people over the headset. Can you hear that? It sounds like they're calling the race director.
The race director just redirects to elevator music in our league. So we've got this an almighty. Look at this. I mean, it's like Howard Hill. Ted Crouch going wheel to wheel with Johnny Schumacher down the inside into the hairpin, and just nudges Johnny Schumacher out wide. With 3 races to left, with 3 races to go, these drivers are not giving any quarter with each other. As Pierre Lecroix is getting caught up with Michael Verstappen into the final corner. Let's have another look at that. It's going to be he's making the move down the inside, almost making contact with back Flavio Briatore. Flavio Briatore very slow there for some reason. As we're back underway with those guys there and back live. Ayrton Senna looks like he might have been caught up in an instant there as well. But let's go back towards the front of this field. Then Safso is just charging away. 2.2 seconds clear now. Gilles Villeneuve, David Attenborough, Kasuma Sato. And then James Vowles leading up next train. And it's George Trulli and Villeneuve going wheel to wheel into this corner. Side by side. Villeneuve round the outside. Brilliant move, but Trulli will have the slipstream back down towards this left-right. A lot of speed carried through here. You have to judge it right. Just flick the car through and then get the run down to the hairpin. Yeah, I'll probably leave you aboard with these guys while I continue to try and find this setting, which is eluding me at the moment.
Yeah, so we got an almighty train behind Jack Villeneuve here. George Trulli is looking to be passed here by Jesse Pinkman, who's already up in position, which is kind of slower than he normally cuts through the field here. So we'll see if he can hang around the outside here. Looks like he's going to line him up down this straight here. And just like a couple almighty trains that are forming. And now that Jack Villeneuve's got by George Trulli, it looks like a Trulli train is forming.
It's happened again.
Living up to me.
That's happened again. Right, we've got the lap count, so we're on lap 5 of 20 then. Another Foxworth Autosport adjudicator adjustment for this race. Fuel tanks are down to 35%, so we should get close to having a 1 to 2 stop. It should be right on the limit, I'm hoping. Unless I've got it wrong again, which is almost as likely. But we'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, the top 10 haven't changed too much, but when we get a bit further down in the field, there's a huge amount of position changes. So Fernando Alonso up 10 then, Michael Verstappen up 7 to 25. Heinz Howard Hill, Lando Calrissian and Johnny Schumacher up 9, 9 and 10 respectively. So some good progress being made. Where's our championship leader at the moment? 8. He is currently running in 13th, isn't he? As we got, oh, is that James Vowles going on the defensive from Harambe. Harambe looking for a way around. And is actually now going to come under pressure from Pulu. As we go into the final corner then. Pulu will try to make the move around the outside. Harambe should have that covered off. And yeah, Pulu has to back off as we come back down towards turn 1. It's been chaos so far.
Absolutely, it looks like it might start slowing down here a little bit. But yeah, it's been crazy a couple laps here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because the way these guys are going wheel to wheel at the moment is so we've got the next train coming over the line. So Samuel Jackson defending from Heinz Harold Hill. Flavio Briatore is in the pit again. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? But yeah, so Safso 21.7, 21.6 last time round. Gilles Villeneuve. He's made a little gap on David Attenborough and Kasuma Sato, who are fighting it away for the final podium position. And then we've got James Vowles, Harambe, Pulu, Jackson, Storm. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we can take a breath for the moment and start to see how this figures out. Obviously, the strategy and stops are going to be all important. What's been the run of the green in terms of how the strategies work out? What do you need to do to get best result in this league?
Overcut, overcut, overcut.
It is indeed, absolutely, yeah. So if you can go a lap extra from your competitor, then without fail, that has been the best strategy to do. But bless the AI, they don't adjust to that, and they still pit earlier than other people if they so desire. So that's what we're going to need to keep an eye on for this top 10.
Historically, it has not worked out well for pole sitters, so we'll see if Safso makes the same mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's had the pace out front quite comfortably so far, isn't he? Which does suggest he's probably using more fuel. Gilles Villeneuve, now that he's not looking in his mirrors, is starting to match him on pace. But will be in the same position of not having a tow. Then you've got the likes of Suno Sato, who's nicely tucks up behind David Attenborough. He'll be saving a nice bit of fuel at the moment. But it's not always historically been who's been in a tow. It just seems to be a little random, which is what we quite like, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how are the guys getting on that have had incidents then? So Senna are about 6 laps back, 6 seconds back, 10 seconds behind his Mine Polecat, who has made a stop already. Han Solo is back out just behind him, and Richard Attenborough is quite a long way behind P41. Natalie Pinkham back out, P42. Flavio Briatore and James Ensby, who is 2 laps down currently.
Yeah, unfortunately, this reversing through the grass did not work out for strategy-wise.
That was easily the most bizarre thing I've seen so far in this series. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe it kept him out of the barrier by doing that, but it made him look a little bit batshit crazy, to be honest.
To be completely fair, like I think he like was pretty much keeping pace with everyone, just flying in reverse. If he would have just like done a 180-degree turn in the middle of the grass and get back on track, that would have been quite the move.
That's what I thought he was going for, and then he just shot over the other side of the racetrack. Yeah, interesting. Maybe have an interview of him after to find out what's going through his brain.
Yeah, that's the dangerous driving of this league for sure. Take that, Sergio Perez.
Absolute animal. So the gap in front staying fairly stable. Still that battle for the final podium positions between Attenborough and Sato, as Attenborough going very defensive into this turn. Sato looking for a way around, can't find it. Harambe going very defensive on Pulu, but once again holding him up. And we're seeing that old thing, aren't we, of a car is defending far too early into the corners, and that's causing an almighty train behind as they lose time defending the way they are. And in fact, with David Attenborough defending the way he has, it means that James Vowles is now onto the back of these two and joining that fight. So Harambe once again goes defensive into turn 1.
It's been a fantastic race for Tyroscon Racing, so they've had a lot of bad luck this season. Let's see if they can get this double top 10.
Yes, so that's James Vowles in 5th currently, and Peter Boynton in 9th. Tyroscon Racing, of course, down in 15th in the championship at the moment. So, yeah, you're right. It would give him a big boost going into the final 2 rounds. If, of course, it stays how it does.
Yeah, some might wonder if this is the reason why they didn't have a great day in F1 today, is they're preoccupied worrying about racing in this race tonight.
It's quite possibly that, yeah. Or building a exact replica of the Mercedes F1 car for iRacing. Evil.
Is that the race engineer's job?
James Vowles is the one that works with iRacing, yeah.
Interesting.
So he's the one that has done a couple of podcast interviews on that car being released in iRacing.
Interesting.
It's the one.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they work on the setups with the drivers. That he's been working on the setups with iRacing to make sure that they match as closely as possible.
Interesting. That seems like something you would want your championship strategist deciding or doing during a championship week, but okay.
I presume he's been allowed time to do it.
Yeah, it just seems in hindsight maybe they should have focused a little bit more. Anyways.
I mean, Mercedes, it's a completely different topic. Yeah, Mercedes have done a fantastic job to even stay in this championship, I think so. I think Red Bull and Max had the quicker car over the year. Okay, so
welcome to the fun podcast.
So things are definitely settling down here then. Gilles Villeneuve a couple of tenths quicker on that last lap. We've seen this a few times in this season, where the guy in second, once he gets clear and stops defending, actually starts to find a bit more pace compared to the guy that's just been stuck out in front on his own. So Gilles Villeneuve starting to eat into that gap to the Safso. David Attenborough is starting to actually make a break from Kazuma Sato now that Kazuma Sato has to think about defending from James Vowles, as Harambe once again defends his turn into this hairpin from Pulu, and Jackson Storm doing the same from Peter Donington. And yeah, we're the calm before the storm here, I think, before the pit stops start happening. So I was hoping we would start seeing the pit stops around about now. But once again, I've got the fuel tank calculations completely wrong, it would seem. So it probably is going to be an easy one-stop race again. It's an almighty train now. Stuck behind. So that is it's a Rambe all the way back to pretty much Walter White, right at the back of that field, and there's a bit of a gap to Karen Horner, who's in the next train from Cecil, Pierre Lecroix, Michael Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Samuel Jackson, Heinz Howard Hill. Where are the Falcon Racing guys then? So Lando Calrissian's there in P29, and then Han Solo is 40th. Yeah, of course he got caught up, didn't he, early on. So they had a fairly commanding lead going into this. I don't think they're going to have one coming out unless there's a drastic change of positions in the latter half of this race. As for our Drivers' Championship leader, 8. I mean, he's in a fairly decent position in 13th, but it's not still not a huge amount of points. So it's going to be losing out, especially to the likes of Harambe and Pulu in this one.
Yeah, he just got such a big buffer here. I don't foresee him losing his championship lead here, but definitely getting cut into. So we'll have to see what the standings are after this race. We still got a stopwatch. Safso is in.
He is indeed.
Everyone seems to be piling in. Let's see if anyone takes a risk here.
This is a very busy pit lane. Well, this is good news for the strategy. New iRacing update seems to have meant that the entire field is coming in on the same lap. Look at this pit lane.
Someone just stayed out.
I
think it was Bertrand Zanardi.
It was, right, yeah, Bertrand Zanardi. I mean, my time screen at the moment is an absolute mess, Fox. So, as soon as I can find... There he is. So Bertrand Zanardi does stay out then. But I think he'd got...
Is that Safso right there?
It is, yeah. So Zanardi should easily pass Safso here. But
he caused a collision.
He's still got another stop to make, so it might bump him up the order, but being stuck behind someone on heavy fuel is probably not what we wanted on this one. I'm just trying to see if everyone came out from the pit stops comfortably. Does look like they did. So, yeah, I'm very surprised actually. It's the first time we've seen that in this season. Everybody coming in on the same lap as Zanardi goes down the inside, Safso, so no need to fight it, but he does anyway. Obviously his race engineer's not told him that Zanardi's still got to pit. And, oh, is that... Oh, Natalie Pinkham's a lap down, isn't she? I was going to say, Natalie Pinkham stay out as well, but it's actually a lap down.
Is she still lap down, or is she on the lead lap now?
No, she's a lap down. Safso's just there. Zanardi will presumably peel into the pits this time round. Does so.
The only one brave the alternate strategy here. Let's see how he comes out.
I don't think this is going to benefit him much, really, because he was stuck behind Safso that entire lap. So I wasn't able to use that pace to his advantage. I don't know where he was before the stop.
That's a good point.
Oh.
That's it. Mine Polecat. He was in for an early incident, so he's coming in now.
I got you, yeah. So Polecat
Look at that train. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, we got Jake Dennis and Han Solo going wheel to wheel into turn 1. And yeah, there's an almighty train now. Maybe if we get a different camera angle, we might be able to see a bit better. So Zanardi's out just ahead. Two moves happening here. We got Matt Neal, Paul Desar, trying to make a move on that's Lando Calrissian. And then we got Ted Kravitz was trying to go around the outside of Johnny Schumacher, and they've all sourced themselves out again. Then, right, Safso 1.7 seconds clear of Gilles Villeneuve. James Vowles is 6 seconds behind now.
It looks like a 1v1 for this race lead here.
James Vowles with a 29-second pit stop. That still doesn't explain the entire gap. So that's very bizarre. James Vowles crossed the line at 1:23.9. So it's not as if he's slower. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Hudson Hornet has jumped 7 positions in the pits. Look at those pit stop times. Right,
Yeah.
we didn't see this, so now that the order's sorting itself out, we've got George Trulli with a 30-second stop, Harambe a 34-second stop. He's now back 6 positions. And then we've had Susie Wolf up 3, Peter Bonington up 4, and Hudson Hornet up 7. So I'm guessing this is because everybody pitted on the same lap. Any small mistakes in the pit lane have a much bigger impact, right, if everybody else is in at the same time.
Yeah. And you obviously have to, whenever you leave the pit lane, you become solid, so you don't have to leave space for everyone. So yeah, maybe like a Constantina happened and a couple of people lost out massively.
Remember, we thought this was going to be a recovery race for Lifeline away. David Attenborough's down 23 after starting on the second row of the grid. He had a 43-second pit stop. I seem to remember seeing his front wing broken. Or at least some... Oh, Pierre Lacroix and Jarno Russell getting very close. Was it?
Attenborough had a broken wing. Yep.
Well, David Attenborough's got something repaired in that pit stop, because it was almost 10 seconds longer than anybody else. Oh, Jake Dennis, a very late move. And there is contact!
Oh!
Jake Dennis is round!
David Attenborough over the wall, into the crowd, into the building, and we're going to have to get a contractor.
Oh, not another building destroyed by the series. A very late move from Jake Dennis. I think it's actually Fernando Alonso that he made contact with there. And ends up in the middle of the track somehow, everybody missing him. And he does... Alright, he's going to go... Oh, just missed the wall. And where's he going?
Oh.
He's found the track. Okay. David Attenborough back in the pits. Jake Dennis carries on his way.
What a crash. That was commentator's curse, as we say.
That's a rarity in the Foxworth Autosport Fantasy League. We actually caught an accident as it happened. Yeah, you're right. Just as we were saying how bad a day he'd had after starting P3, it gets even worse after the dive bomb of the century from Jake Dennis. But I'd expect nothing less from him. Right, so out front, the gap is slowly coming down. As you know, Gilles Villeneuve a little bit slower on that lap before we got more. Oh!
Oh!
That's Matt Neal.
Who is he collected?
Oh no, it's his teammate. What's going to happen here? Oh, he tries to go down the inside. He's just ripped every single corner off the car. Where's Paul Disaster? He's there. Oh, back right. Back right is bent.
It is indeed, yeah. It looks like he might be pulling into the pits here.
He's still going. We've got more action final corner. Things hotting up here with 5 laps to go there, Fox. We've got Ted Gravitz defending from Martin Brundle, and then that's John Major and Lando Calrissian going side by side into turn 1. And, oh, late move from Lando Calrissian. Can he hold it around the outside? No, good speed around the outside from John Major, and he will stay in P31 then. Paul Disaster is now pulled into the pits. That gives my polecat an extra position. And, nice bit of action to spice things up there, folks.
Definitely, and it absolutely has not been a good day for the early championship contenders, so we'll have to see if they can make a recovery in these last 2 rounds, but disaster for Paul Disaster and Matt Neal today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gone from bad to worse, hasn't it? And while I think they were just about holding on in this championship, I think after this they will no longer be. Got Augustus and Jarno Russell going wheel to wheel. And that's Lucia Augustus making up a place around the outside of the chicane. Good move, nicely done. Samuel Jackson, don't tell anybody, he's P25.
I don't know if he's been told. He probably thinks he's lapped out right now.
Probably does. And where is his teammate as well? Jeff Goldblum. He's recovered a bit. He's up to P34. Not bad. After that early incident, we've got Cecil and Walter White going wheel to wheel now. And that's Walter White getting past. That's the recovering David Attenborough that's just come out of the pits, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Or is that Richard Attenborough? Both should be limping by now.
It is David. Oh, no, it's... Yeah, no, it's David. He's holding up Cecil, Pierre Lacroix, and Liam here.
Well,
careful, boys! Liam goes round the outside of Pierre Lacroix then. And makes his way up to P20. Decent drive from Liam today, although he's down 1 position overall. And we just have a few laps to go. So that's Pierre Lecroix making his way past the back marker as well. Johnny Schumacher and Heinz all going wheel to wheel into the chicane. Johnny Schumacher makes his way through. Looks like the outside line into the first part of the chicane is the way to go there. As anybody on the inside doesn't seem to be able to find the line for the second part of the chicane, so good move. Bertrand's not, he's up 11, so maybe that one lap longer did work out for him. Although we've had quite a few incidents down the back, so he's probably just gained those by proxying, right?
Yeah, you can see quite a bit of people are up in the midfield, up 14, Fernando Alonso up 11, Michael Verstappen. But yeah, you're right. There's been quite a few incidents in the midfield today, and it seems like being at the front was the trick. We got a few laps here left, so let's see if anything changes. Yeah,
absolutely. So it would be, I want to say, only a second or third winner from pole. Of course, Senna was another one at Imola. I don't know. Well, let's worry about those stats. We'll go over the stats at the end of the season for those kind of things. But yeah, he's led from start to finish. Gilles Villeneuve has kept him honest. He's matching his times at the moment, but hasn't been able to get close enough to get into that slipstream. James Vowles coming under pressure from Hudson Hornet then. Peter Donington defending from Kazuma Sasso here, and it's Susie Wolf defending from Pulu. And yeah, Hudson Hornet, great drive so far actually, up 7. P4, all that time gained in the pit stops, 25 seconds. There's only a couple of people that did that time in the pit stop, so yeah, great work in the pit lane from Radiator Drifters there.
Yeah, absolutely, and his teammate Jackson Storm is in the top 10 as well, so it's going to be a great day for them. Great day for the, with Peter Bonington and James Vowles. My goodness, 2 top 5s. Really doing well. So there's a couple teams that are going to definitely be jumping up the standings today, and I don't think anyone's going to be jumping up past 8, but maybe we might see a new second place here.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Schumacher and Johanna Russell. It's only 25th and 26th, but they didn't want to give an inch there. Great racing between the pair of them. And that's Johnny Schumacher up into 25th. I feel like the 2 Benson liveried cars we've seen in the barriers a lot in this championship. It's good to see one of them having a good race for a change. Up 16 places so far, Johnny Schumacher. And Michael Verstappen up there in 21st. As he tries to make his way past the back marker as well. Oh, we got an almighty train here. What's going on here?
Oh my goodness. Looks like Natalie Pinkman had to back out of there.
That's it's commentator's curse again, Fox.
Oh, is it Hudson Hornet? Oh no!
That's what's caused it. What happened?
We have been awful today.
Oh, front right's bent. Front right is bent. Oh!
Ooh,
Natalie Pinkham has lost it, and that's caused Hudson Hornet to damage his front right, and then that's obviously Peter Bonington behind, Kazuma Sato, Susie Pulu, all trying to make the way past. And they do, I think, just about get around the outside into that corner. There's a little bit of chaos behind. And they make it back. Right, let's go on board currently. Hudson Hornet has stopped, unfortunately, on the outside. I don't know why he didn't go for the pit lane there. We've got, oh dear, we've got Bertrand. Oh.
No.
Oh, we've got all sorts of happens at final corner. There's Senna that's joined up in that. Zanardi just... Oh, it's Natalie Pinkham that stopped ahead then. And Senna followed them, but actually found his way around the outside. If we go forward though, Bertrand's... Oh! Oh!
Who's that? Who collected Hudson Hornet?
I don't know, Fox. It's all moving very quickly. Or did he...
He just collected himself. He just drove right into the wall.
I don't know, Fox. I don't know what he's done. Why has he done this?
And look at Natalie Pinkman.
She's backwards in the pit lane.
What did she do?
I want to find out, but I also want to go back on board. We're on the final lap here. We got Sato, so it's just taken check flag from Gilles Villeneuve then. James Vowles, Kazuma Sato, Susie Wolf, and Pulu will come over the line. Jax Villeneuve, Peter Bonington, Gail Berger, 8, Jackson Storm, Jesse Pinkman, and then we got George Trulli and what's that? Karen Horner on the line. Karen Horner gets to Rambe them from Walter White, Cecil, Liam Bridesmaid, Pierre Lecroix, Michael Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Lucius Augustus, Samuel Jackson. Decent race from him. Johnny Schumacher, Heinz Harold Hill, Jarno Russell, Ted Kravitz on the line from Martin Brundle, John Major, Lando Calrissian, Jeff Goldblum, Jack Dennis, Ayrton Senna, Mine Polecat, Bertrand Zanardi looks like he will get round. The final corner here ahead of Han Solo. Pool disaster. Richard Attenborough. Hudson Hornet is back out somehow. Not sure how they've repaired that car that quickly. David Attenborough has already finished ahead of Matt Neal, Flavio Briatore and James Ensby then. Wow. I thought with that lull in the middle of the race and with everybody pitting on the same lap, we were going to see the same old story there, Fox, of quite a quiet race to the end. But Hudson Hornet very quickly... Well, it was Natalie Pinkham that started it, wasn't it?
Yeah, can we take a look at what happened her final lap?
Yeah, absolutely.
She came back on track, but how'd she get off track?
Well,
And then she obviously spun in the pit lane.
yeah, let's see if we can find out here.
Well, yeah, it just looks like...
Well, this isn't even the lap. This is way earlier.
Oh, yeah. Every single corner she's spinning out.
I think she had a pretty damaged car there. She got another bit, right? Oh, that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, that was it, yeah. Yeah, she's just not having control over her car at all.
So, I mean, the car looks okay, but obviously something's not right.
Yeah, it's just not the right balance, and...
So, she just loses it through that.
And
Unfortunately, Hudson Hornet...
yeah.
I feel so bad for Radiator Drifters. Hudson Hornet was on for an unbelievable result there. And then it just caused chaos behind, didn't it? I don't think anybody really changed positions there. Obviously, they all got past Hudson Hornet. But they all seem okay. And Natalie Pinkham, well, you can see what the problem is at the rear left of the car there.
Yeah, she's nursing it back to the pits here, trying to stay out of the way. See how she ends up on the inside of the corner.
She's doing the patented Pulu shuffle. Maybe just out of fuel, maybe that's a problem.
I wouldn't think so, but yeah, maybe.
No, I don't think that's the problem here. And then she's just gonna... Oh, she loses the back end, that's what happened. Rescued it quite nicely. But then, of course...
Couldn't get it back in
we're
gear.
going to see Edson going round the outside of her here in a second.
Down the inside, technically. But
Okay.
Bertrand already just stopped.
I mean, there's plenty of room.
There's so plenty of room. What's he doing?
Well, I'm glad to see this AO update hasn't ruined it too much. And then Natalie Pinkham is just going to spin it into the pit lane. Oh dear. That's unfortunate.
Is that a speed into the pit lane penalty?
I don't think we need to bother about that. Considering she finished last. And that was all they wrote then. Right, after that crazy race then, we're going to get the scores totaled up and see how things look going into the final two races of the season.
Alright, so let's take a look at the standings here. And the drivers, 8 remains solidly at the top here, but there's a re-emergence of Pulu in second. Cecil's holding on to the top 5 into third. And Jesse Pinkman is really kind of showing his consistency throughout the season, and he's strongly in 4th place. We got Ayrton Senna, who's a relatively new entrant to the top 10 with his win in Imola, but he's hanging on in there. And we also got Taff Sasso tied with Ayrton Senna. So things are closing up a little bit, but 8 has yet to be dethroned, and he still has a pretty massive lead in the Drivers' Championship. Moving over to the Teams' Championship, we got Papa Spleens Automotive taking the supremacy there. And Memes to the Moon just 2 points behind. And then just 11 points behind Memes to the Moon is Falcon Racing. So there's just a whole lot of that can happen in one race. And yeah, there's a lot of competition left to play out there in the Teams Championship. Then 70 points down is my team, Prince Pals. And then the early contenders, BBW Cosworth Racing, has really taken a plunge in these last few weeks. And we'll see if they can make a recovery. But it's not looking great for these last 2 weeks.
No, absolutely. Yeah, as you say, standouts there are Pulu back up into 2nd place of that great result, becoming a contender once again. Jesse Pinkman continuing his march, now up into 4th. And Safsafso showing what difference a race can make, considering he gained 100 points. That puts him on 208 before this race, which currently is down in 26th. So there's a big jumps that can happen. The win spread is now only down to P9 though. So only Harambe upwards could jump to the top going into the final 2 races. And that's going to be the thing to keep an eye on, isn't it? Going into the final race will be that spread between 100 point difference between first. So currently we have 9 championship contenders if it was to be as it was going into the final race. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Team championship is even harder to call, really. So we've now got Team RV joining Falcon Racing, Team Principal, BBW in the 500 club. But it's both Raiders teams out in front. Perhaps it's automotive memes to the moon. But 2 races, especially with one of them being an oval, is still a long way to go. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But once again, a big old shake-up of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. My accordion algorithm did not account for 8 having a 2nd place and 2 first place in a row. So yeah, he definitely is running away with it. But Matt Neal was running away with it early on as well. So we'll see if he can hold on to these last 2 races here. And as you said, the team championship is all to play for, and we got an oval coming up. And as we know, anything can happen on ovals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to make the final 2 races of the season not ones to miss them. They will be coming out back-to-back on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So in the space of 2 days, you will get to see the final 2 races to see who will be crowned our inaugural drivers and constructors champions, and who also gets the 2nd and 3rd places in those, which are also real cash money paying positions. But yeah, next time out we'll be in Boston, around a very, very small oval.
Boston, Virginia, not Boston, Massachusetts. I just found that out.
Good to know. I was not asking that question, but I'm sure someone was.
We're also competing with Book of Boba Fett and Cobra Kai Season 4 releases on that weekend, so I know that everyone has us number 1 on the list, though.
This is definitely more exciting.
Yeah. I heard the Disney higher-ups were very concerned whenever we announced our schedule, so we'll see if they delay their launch until the next week, but we'll see. We're working in the background with them. Maybe we'll do a sponsored deal next season, Book of Boba Fett. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if Falcon Racing team come away with some titles in this, you know, maybe we might see a Boba Fett team next time. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. I say, don't miss Boston next time out. It's a oval that's, I want to say, around a 15-second lap. So it's going to get very crazy. It's going to be very difficult to follow from a commentating point of view, but it's going to be chaos. So yeah, don't miss that one. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Fox, for joining me. And we'll catch you again next time.